Welcome back everyone to Age of Wonders 4, a fantasy strategy game where you create your own empire and lead it to victory and glory. Now this time we are going to be playing as a very aggressive and brutal little faction I have customized already. Last time we did a more passive and pacifistic approach with a culture that basically turtled a lot, didn't leave their borders. This time we're going to do the complete opposite. We're gonna just destroy everything we see and are just brutal conquerors. There's even a little culture trait that further enhances this and, well, pushes you into a very dominant and brutal faction. I've already pre-created it, but I will this time lead you through it with, without showing the finished result first, unlike last time. So let's go ahead and jump into a new destination. Yes, new destination with our new Pantheon leader, Kahistaract, waiting. I'm curious to see if we encounter him in our new realm. We will this time do a more standard map, as we will not be playing over the major handicap this time as well. I did explain why in the last part, but I rehearse, which is because in my opinion, playing on a major handicap just diminishes the intention of the game in combat and makes certain units very overpowered and kind of dependent to have in your ranks. So yeah, just to summarize my thoughts on that system. Anyways, alright, I have included world seals in this one as well, because it really does seem like a very viable victory condition. We will not be going for this though, just as a heads up. But Toll of Seasons I will not include this time, because I think it is influencing the game in a major way. Not negatively by all means, just that we already had this, and I think it shifts the game sort of a little bit too much into a direction. So yeah, I'm just saying, it's like, for the faction we are gonna play, it's not, well, it doesn't need to be there, you know? So like, it's making the realm sort of more deviate from the normal standard, you know? Not in a bad way, just differently. But here we come to the difficulty. We will be again playing on brutal, challenging plus, which will be giving every AI 20% more damage, and they receive 20% less damage, which I think is already handicap enough by itself. So we will not therefore be playing on a handicap which further enhances it by 30% each. This is what we played on last time. If you're curious about it, do watch the series Without Borders, the previous one, if you haven't already. But yeah, other than that, we have everything enabled. I'm always kind of hoping that the AI is not going to choose our race, because sometimes it happens, and then what's happening is that they benefit from all major race transformation we are applying to our units, and then they're just becoming good automatically, you know? But enough of that. So, on to our people's race. We will be playing as goblinoids, since we are going to be an aggressive evil race and culture and empire, whatever you want to prefer to say. And our playstyle will be that we will have great recuperation and mobility on the world map, allowing us to engage into battles faster and, well, more hearty, or however you want to put it. Basically, recover faster from battles and be able to, yeah, move through the world on a faster pace. In combat, they will have the elusive trait, being able to withstand opportunity attacks more easily or with less consequences, to be able to reposition faster, or not faster, but at a lower cost. And why I don't want to take away a certain tome we will be picking yet. It just has to do with some of our unit composition we will be going for, and we will be focusing on a careless playstyle, taking, in contrast to last playthrough, completely neglecting the defense mode. Basically, we will be rarely going into defense, and if we do, then it really should be well thought through, because we are suffering -1 and -1 resistance from it. Basically only giving us +1 defense and resistance, so a very aggressive playstyle.
What is their origin culture?
Our culture will be barbarian. I do not really agree with the nature aspect from the barbarians, I have to be honest. I really do not see why barbarian, I mean, I guess it fits to barbarian itself, but what barbarian is being picked for is mostly because of the chaos affinity, right? I mean, we don't have a faction solely going for chaos. We only have Reaver, which is going for chaos, and Materium, which is a very interesting faction as well. Maybe I will showcase this as well. But Barbarian does have a very unique trait, giving every unit Savage Strike, which gives them more damage on critical hits. Now this is very important because this is boosting our damage output by a lot, because we will be doing a lot of crits, because we are having the chaos affinity. So we really want to pick this up. Also, I guess Ritual of Alacrity, we will probably not be using this. Or maybe we do, because outposts are affected by this as well. The reason why we will not really have a use for this, you will see in a second. Oh, and removes exhausted from forced march. This could be really useful, actually. Yeah, the only issue is that we cannot produce outposts as fast anymore, because we lack the Materium affinity to do so. But other than that, critical strikes are just good enough to be picking that just by default. So yeah, Barbarian it is.
What defines their society?
Now this is where things are getting really interesting, because from our previously acquired Pantheon points, I was able to choose Chosen Destroyers, which is a new trait that can be unlocked, well, with Pantheon points, and that just completely changes the game so far from what we have experienced. I'm just gonna read through this. Raising cities grant a permanent 40 gold, 40 mana, 40 knowledge income for every 3 population of the city that was raised permanently, I want to emphasize, which basically takes away the responsibility of keeping a city for these resources. You just gain them permanently. So without having a place to be permanently protecting, we just have one giant city acquiring all of these resources permanently when destroying cities, as we cannot obtain any new cities by conquering them or by creating them, as I'm aware. I will try it though with an outpost. I mean, we will be building an outpost rather sooner than later, and we will find that out then, I suppose. But we also suffer relation penalties heavily with every single empire, making everybody very hostile towards us. Can I keep this open for a second, game? Thank you. And this is very compatible with many other traits. I see this as a perfect opportunity to pick Signs of Evil, as I will probably never ever pick this ever again, because the first time I saw it, I thought, damn, what a garbage trait, I will never use this. Kind of like Powerful Evokers, but at least they provide combat casting points at the start of the battle with every battle mage and support units in your army, so I guess that's something good. Signs of Evil, however, you know what I say to draft, or if you know me, you know what I think about draft in general. It's in my opinion the most useless resource you can have, because you're most of the time you're just building an army, and when you have it, you stay with that army and you don't redraft any new units. However, seeing that as we will only have one city, it may actually well be the perfect fit for this current build, honestly. So it may just be really good. Chosen Destroyers giving us +1 Chaos Affinity, and Signs of Evil giving us a little bit into Shadow, as we will also be going or dip a little bit into the Shadow Affinity. We will mostly go into Chaos though, as I have already warned from the previous part. But yeah.
Choose your first tome of magic.
Our first tome will be Tome of the Horde, and we are already pretty small as a race, since we're goblins, and we will become even smaller thanks to Spawnkin, which will reduce our size and increase the numbers of our formation by 1. Also our damage and the evasion of our heroes. I do not know if our ruler will be affected of this as well, because we will be choosing not a human ruler this time, or not a native racial unit, let me say that. But yeah, what else does this tome give us? I guess Houndmasters is a pretty decent unit, because they spawn every turn with, or every combat they have a hound on their ranks. Unleash the Hounds is also pretty good siege project, especially early on, since this gives us 6 Warhound units, which is basically an entire army. So every siege we can just calculate in a whole army with it. Sounds very, very strong early on in the game. Other than that, it really focuses on tier 1 units, because there's even a special province making them cheaper by 20%, giving more draft and food as a side effect. And we already have access to a cascade damage spell. Pretty much works like, if you've watched previous one, like our Spellblade's fire evocation, which, you know, was very, very effective. So all in all, it seems like a pretty good tome to have early on in the game.
What is your ruler's origin?
And yes, when I said it will not be a native unit, I was thinking about picking a Dragon Lord for this one. Sort of going for...
yourself.
Yes, sort of going for a dominant dragon ruler, ruthlessly ruling over goblins. As a kind of, you know, lore-wise addition to our culture. Our, ironically, our Dragon Lord, if you've noticed, is a little bit small, on the smaller side, which is intentional. I made him a little bit smaller to be fitting that small and aggressive culture theme, and sort of going for the idea that our Dragon Lord couldn't get any other race to rule over, and the goblins were all he could get to subdue because he's so small, you know. But yeah, small and aggressive. Our racial units have, well, some drip to them. I have called them...
Your journey begins.
Yes, Ashlings, and our ruler is Elder Dragon Cornac Cinder. So, our first and only city will be called Thorn, as we will be a thorn to our enemies' eyes for quite some time. Our ruler ambition will be Fearmonger. However, I did also think about maybe going for... where is it? I think I've missed it. Duelist. Since we will be doing a lot of fighting, and our dragon hero will be actually... Right, I forgot to mention it.
Reveal yourself.
Our ruler will be a Spellblade. This time. Death Knight could actually also be interesting. But from my understanding, he operates more on debuffs and, well, undead, which is not going to be a major priority in our playthrough, since we, like I said, will be mostly playing on the aggressive side of things. Warrior could have also been something nice, but we will be needing fire and burning in our army, so a Spellblade is pretty much the perfect choice to mix melee combat and elemental, like fire in particular, very much. We will also be having a weapon that can charge attack by default, which is what I'm always going for Spellblades, which make them very powerful in my opinion. With that being said, now we can go, yeah, for the ruler ambition. Fearmonger or Duelist. I would be going for Fearmonger, honestly, because we will be sort of... So we will be going for something that makes us intimidate the enemy, and enhancing this intimidation with our ruler could be something very beneficial. I know I'm not the best at choosing ruler ambition, as for the last time we haven't had any progress with our ruler's ambition for 100 turns. So Duelist might be the better pick here, honestly. But I'd like to go for Fearmonger because we will also be getting a lot of kills. Since our... yeah, well, our Spellblade in almost every run made many of the kills, you know? He was always the one going for the final strikes. And having that being enhanced is kind of pretty neat, especially or as well with intimidating, paired with intimidating aura, giving us -5 morale for every enemy that is adjacent to us. But just because of our... just because of the style of our empire, I would be going for Fearmonger because this fits a little bit more to the narrative of our faction, being sort of this dominant and ruthless, brutal, destroying clan that just leaves everything in ruin, you know? And I did choose the horns to make our dragon look a little bit more fiendish, as is also our banner, indicating a little bit of demonic essence in our culture. With that being said, let us just, well, overwrite, I guess, and traveling to the realm. Okay, looks very peaceful for now. This area will change, however, with certain tombs in the future. A new ruler emerges, explore your surroundings and expand your domain, prepare to face your rivals and become the master of this realm. Your choices will shape the new age of wonders. Yeah, I don't know if this new age will be wondrous at all. I quite believe it to be very horrible. Maybe just a slight hint of it. What is this Song of the Reckless? For 3 turns, target friendly units gains Berserk and Strengthened. I'm not sure about that. Uncontrollable is not really worth it for 3 strength. Fury of the Horde. I wasn't expecting that we would be getting this spell. I was sort of hoping for the Cascade Fire spell. As well, it's better. But yeah, so a lot to take in first. Oh right, I need to before I completely forget about it, I need to change our frame. Okay, so yeah, I've just picked the anniversary skin because apparently, well, I didn't know it would look like that, but it is actually very befitting for our Chaos Affinity playstyle. Also, we should be going for an Arcane Research Spawnkin being right at the start. How beautifully perfect. Nice. Looking at the production of our city, there's 2 things that stand out right away for me. It's the battle ritual side, giving us only 8 knowledge and 5 draft. If you can remember, usually the scholarly structures provide 10 knowledge, which is already very disappointing, to be honest, because those 2 knowledge in trade-off for 5 useless draft is not worth it. Let me just say that. I don't even want to take a look at Ancestral Seal Wall at all right now. But we're gonna ignore this for now and go for the workshop instead, providing us with 5 additional draft to the 10 production, which we'll be needing early on anyways. We are also going for the Sunderer as our first unit of production. Usually I go for a lot of scouts because we want to meet as many free cities early on as possible. However, as you are aware, we cannot really do that because we are sort of not very compliant, as you might know. So yeah, we will not be doing any of that for now. What we are going for is going to just build as many well, battle units as possible and take over as much as possible early on in the game. That should give us the soon early edge over some empires, and maybe we can throw them off the scene of this realm. We will be using our scout though to scout ahead a little bit here and there. And I'm currently thinking, should we go with him there, or I would honestly just go here. Oh, it's an item for our hero, because this is the more useless area, and we don't really want to waste our movement points of our leader to go into a direction where there's just literally nothing. 1 defense and accuracy is better than nothing, but I guess we cannot also... so, yeah, we cannot use it for our hero anyways, because he can't wear helmets. But as a Dragon Lord, we do profit from, or benefit from the Horde items skill, which gives us +3, yeah, +3 for a tier 2 artifact. Would it just be +1 gold for tier 1 then? I mean, early on it's rather good, I suppose, but it has, as you can imagine, diminishing returns. Now, last time I was very careful on engaging armies like this because they posed a greater threat than just, well, we may be on an advantage here, but previously we weren't really. This time, however, the odds are a little bit more in our favor, and I do believe we can take on even this army on this mana node, but we would rather go for this, honestly, because it has food sitting on top of food. That's gonna be super delicious, I can imagine, once we ingest it. I will be doing this manually and do show the first kind of battle on the screen as well. I will be cutting out future battles that are just well, repeating. And yes, these okay, so last playthrough there was one hero sitting on top of a unicorn, occasionally having like a rainbow flag inside his ass or something, and I was wondering what the hell that was. Now we've confirmed it. It's the unicorns that leave behind the rainbow trail. I didn't know that. But yeah, but apparently they just poop out rainbows out of their ass crack, which is very conveniently shaped for this as well, I might add. Yeah, well, we start off very very standard. Oh, this does profit from critical hits inflict light damage, huh? Interesting. Okay, yeah, so that's, I suppose, why the barbarians go a little bit into nature. But like I said, we will not be going like the conventional nature path, because also it's gonna be it would be very inefficient because we only have one city, right? Going for an affinity that doesn't rely on or doesn't boost any city at all, but rather your units and heroes, things you can accumulate normally, would be a much better fit in my opinion. So we will be heavily going into chaos and dip a little bit into shadow as well, because that will later boost many of our summons and units and all that kind of stuff. So without talking too much here, we kind of want them to engage first. They have 2 melee, well, only melee units actually. I will be recording this battle just, you know, as a first heads up or startup. And well, I will be skipping later battles in the future when they get repetitive and stuff like that. But I think the first battle is always nice to include, to see the first sort of abilities we have and stuff like that, maybe. Yeah, with that being said, we do want to lure them out into attacking our units right here first. And since we will also not be playing on a major difficulty or a major handicap, I will be playing with the rule that I will not be restarting the combat. And anything that happens, happens. Say, if we lose our ruler now, it happens, okay? We can not just restart it or anything like that. With that being said, we really need to watch out for our ruler, because I do tend to really overestimate them, and they go and die. And then we are left with 3 turns without any research, any spells, and anything. This is not good, okay, as you might imagine. So keeping our ruler alive is the highest of our priorities at all times. So they do have carelessness, and they just run into poison. Listen, I don't think that's the smartest move to make, but okay, alright, I suppose. Let us move... yeah, with that being said, let us move into the most dangerous area in the entire field right here, and spew a little bit of dragon breath onto everybody. Also popping the poisoning bubble, making them suffer even more damage. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Let us also run behind the unicorns, as we will be able to throw some javelins up their corny rainbow ass. There we go, see the rainbow pooping out? That's the stuff. That's the stuff, everyone. So, we do have a shield bash in them apparently, giving them a 90% chance on normal units to stun them and make themselves go into defense mode. They only have a 40% chance of being stunned, however, which is quite risky for our tier 1 unit, because they will suffer a retaliation attack if that does not happen. If we do not try, however, I mean, we are kind of risking us to either lose our hero. Okay, honestly, the hero might be good. We may as well just go into defense mode. Or we are going to risk it. It's a 50% chance, guys. But losing a unit on the first fight is also very questionable. I mean, they are all on burning, so time works for us. Yeah. See, this is what... yeah. Exactly. This is what I mean. What even are you as a race? Are you an elf? Spirit calling Fae, yes, that's an elf. Yeah, I don't honestly don't want to risk that. But they deal damage, alright? They deal good damage. Yeah, You know what? Let's go into defense mode. Let's not risk that. Providing some of them with higher defense, they will probably go attack our ranged unit or something like that. We do have a retaliation attack with our dragon. Also, the damage on those retaliation attacks does pop very decently, and they did choose to go for our leader, which puts us into a great position to be making those flanking attacks and even killing them. Alright, well, let's do that then. Unfortunately, there's no chance for us to crit anything here yet. But yeah. Okay, took care of them. Let's go for another flanking attack with our ranged voice. Right in their ass. There we go. Inflicting asunder defense as well. Wow, okay. They will be probably going for our leader yet again, but there's nothing we can do there, can we? Okay, their morale is still normal. We did not use any spells, and we did not need to. Oh no, they're going for... Well, that's actually quite perfect, because now everybody can recover, sort of, on a good pace together. So let's throw them up their ass again. They're actually quite the good flanking unit, because they kind of ignore opportunity attacks because they are slippery, and they have sort of a charge attack. Not really, it's a ranged attack, but charge attack in the sense of they don't need all of their action points to be able to use this. And here we go, flanking attack. Yep. Nice. No casualties on the first battle. We should be very cautious about the second one right here. Probably go back to our city to try out this rite of Alaki? Ritual of Alaki. Players can activate the Ritual of Alaki on any owned barbarian outpost and cities. When activated, friendly units on the center of the outpost or city will restore 50% hit points, 100% move points, and removes exhaust from enforced march. Yeah. So where do I activate that though? Is it here? Expansion? Automate production? No, I guess we will just have to find out when we get there. So for our first province, let's go with for a regular mine, giving us plus 20 gold. I usually avoid them for the beginning and focus on something like farms or foresters at first. However, I also noticed that we ran early game often into gold shortage, which this kind of avoids. And well, for the next turn we will be going for pastures though. Okay. Well, that changes things. I mean, if there are pastures, we gotta take the farm. Obviously. Like, there's a little arguing against that, is there? Sorry. Well, sorry, Cash, but kinda gotta have the snacks flowing, you know? As for next province, I would also just go for another farm, getting the stonemasons, and after that we can go into sort of battle ritual, because that's also a very nice early going stat boost. Let's go to the center though and see his tiny wings. How this Ritual of Alarchy works. I still see nothing indicating anything like that. I mean, I guess we can give our Whispering Stone to our city, by the way. Yeah, well, where can we activate this? Game? Okay, after looking a little bit into it, we cannot perform it right now, which is a little bit sad, because we will be needing the wings, man. This is certainly not the flying style of any other dragon and any other size. Wait, they do have 40 move? Ah, yeah, right, because they're all fast. I forgot. Because that means quite some preparation first. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't want to take away more because I kind of spoiled myself, I suppose, but I was thinking I'm missing a button somewhere in the city tab or something like that, but apparently that wasn't the case. Okay, after walking over some production, we finished. We already finished one building. That was a little bit too fast, honestly. Let's go for vendor because that's the only one thing that is boosted yet. Finishes in 3 turns. In 2 turns, we gain another stack of population, which we will put into a farm to get some other structures boosted in our city. But yeah, now we have the workshop, and now we can engage onto the smaller army, which should be low risk. Yeah, I thought so too. Okay, this is also very interesting. The wild speakers here are riding spiders, and they summon tiny spiders. You know, usually I thought, yeah, it's a random tier 1. Is that a coincidence? Dread spider hatchling. I don't think so. Pretty nice though. Ooh, and oh, yeah, we're dealing damage, okay? We're definitely dealing damage right over here. Unfortunately, we do risk taking some damage here as well though, since we will be exposing ourselves quite a lot like this. Not sure if that's worth it. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stun him from over here. Stunned, nice. Get 3 consecutive attacks in. And I just remembered that we could use a spell giving everybody more strength. Well, okay, depending on how the next attack is going to play out, we will be considering it, alright? So first we're gonna flank this sucker here. 36 damage. Yep, that is a clean kill. They still had 16 left, I believe. So it was very, very perfect. Alright, yeah, let's hope that they don't just kill our ruler outright, which shouldn't be the case, actually. But yeah, getting the kill on the archer right away. Ooh, 16 damage? Wasn't that a little bit less? Okay. And another... that does... yeah. Oh no, is he immobilized? Okay, whew. Thank goodness he is not. Yeah, that's a little bit damage right here. Not as much if we face them, but still a lot. So, yeah. I mean, they can focus him, I guess, and now should be a good time to go for Fury of the Horde, giving us all that we need. Ooh, yeah, that's a lot more like it. 30 damage. And there we go, losing one of their units, and we can go for yet another. How do you like that, huh? Not so much, huh? Not so much, huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. And we will be flanking them. And oh, Javelin only has a 50%. Okay, listen, you have to hit this. He's right in your face, man. There we go, sundered defense. Do we attack them? I think not. I think we will not do so. We can safely retreat over here without risking the bear to attack us. However, we will probably get hit by both of them again, since we are also slowed now. Slowed right there. Okay, at times like these, I am happy to have elusive, but I curse myself for getting careless. Because our defense mode is pretty bad now. Oh well. I mean, oh, yeah, okay. This is gonna pan out interesting. Ooh, we can we can spoof fire on our people and make them have a kill though as well. Okay, yeah, they're going for our skirmisher. That is very good. Now we can take advantage of their positioning. Ooh, okay. Well, that's pretty perfect. Yeah. Doing or equally distributing the damage right here like this is pretty great. And the summoning time from them has come to an end. Oh my goodness. That's a kill. Yeah. Dragon Lord with Dragon Claw, War Claw is very, very strong. We have had a Dragon Lord before, but he had Armored Claw, which is much more inferior, if I may say. Also, we gained a level up now. 76 mana, which is pretty good. A horse mount. I guess for a hero, but I mean they have good movement on themselves as well, so we may not even take advantage of that. But oh, 5 tier 1 units is something we kind of want to take advantage of. We're gonna wait one turn here. I guess we can also scout a little bit up ahead, like 1, even 2 maybe. No! Well, whatever happens, happens, I said, huh? Oh, that sucks. I got greedy. That's my bad. Oh, man. Anyways, we will go for... Yeah, what will we go for, honestly? Let me think about this. Honestly, Terrifying Gorging seems like a great first pick, as this is gonna allow our hero to bait an attack and punish it heavily by just insta-killing the unit. So this is something I really like to go for first. Also, the War Claw just looks very epic and nice in my opinion. Can't wait to get some crit going so we can take advantage of those additional 8 blight per crit as well. Now one of our new units has been successfully recruited, as well as a new Empire development skill is available. Defeating an infestation grants a unit based on the infestation defeated. Well, that is very chaotic, to say the least. I guess we can save it up for when we defeat this brigand camp over here. Oh right, we have never really read through this, have we? Few know what drives the hearts of mortals. Oft it is greed, valor, or simply hunger. When the common cause grows large enough, men and women of like minds will find each other in secret places. Smoke from campfires and makeshift forges drifts among shoddy tents and huts of these haphazard armies. It is from here that they assault the surrounding lands with relentless impunity. A band of bloodthirsty brigands has claimed this region. If it is left unchecked, they will grow in strength and expand their territory and send out armies to invade, or something like that. In that matter. Anyways, maybe now we can see the terrifying gorging in perfect action. Careless, sort of annoying now every time. Yeah, well, we had a retaliation attack, wasn't that strong. I mean, it was that strong, but it was necessary is what I mean to say. 90% chance of success. Okay, plus 30 hit points again, regained. Just a perfect example. And the enemy plays themselves strategically stupid again to be affected by terrifying gorging another time. How convenient. And yeah, that must be truly traumatizing for you right here. I cannot imagine how it shouldn't, my friend. You care for some critical strikes right here? Grace, nice. More crits, man. That's a 20% chance. Okay. So if we are really unlucky, we are not getting that. Okay. Yeah, if we're really unlucky, we lose this unit now, even. Come on, that's a 40% fumble chance, man. Should even be decreased further. Okay, he's... yeah, okay, alright. Nice. Oh, right, this... we should let them run now, because that acts towards progress for our fear-mongering. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. And we got another level up. Very nice. And, okay, leveled up, but did we also got... yeah, progress. Route enemy units 4 or 3 more routes, and then we level up in our renown. Anyways, for our next level up, I would be going for either Dragon's Roar or maybe some enhanced breath attack. Honestly, let's go for Dragon's Roar, as this is going to give us another preparation spell to use early on, while still going into position and stuff like that. It doesn't cost an action point in the battle itself, it's just a nice to have preparation spell early on in the beginning. There we go. But also I have to cut it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Do let me know what you think about this sort of faction we are building right now. As we are further, like, it's... I'm really... It's sort of like a one city challenge as well, but not really a challenge apparently, because there's an extra trait for that, so I'm not considering it a challenge, but it's like... I like that there are cultural traits like that that just shift the game so much into a different direction. Like, I haven't yet played with only one city. And I haven't even thought about it, but the skill just, you know, makes it very appealing. I mean, 40 permanent gold mana and stuff like that for every city raised. I can imagine this snowballing really hard. Honestly, I don't know what else to say to that. It does seem like a very powerful skill when I saw it with the right, faction. But anyways, like I said, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Goodbye.